An Ontario man says he's being denied life insurance because he has an anxiety disorder. Robert Pugh applied for life insurance and disclosed the fact that he had anxiety and took medication. He was later told his application was rejected due to his mental health condition. So now he's speaking out because he's concerned others with the disorder could be discouraged from seeking help for mental illness. For a closer look at this, we've reached David Scher. He is the president and co-founder of Scher Lawyers. We reached him in Toronto. Thank you for joining us today, sir.
My pleasure.
How common is it, from your experience, for people to be turned down for life insurance based on mental health reasons?
Well, our firm is more involved in cases when a claim is denied, so we're not really that involved in the underwriting part of the process. But I think it happens from time to time. I believe that the best approach for Mr. Pugh and others like him in this circumstances is to keep shopping it around and perhaps go to a broker that deals with more than just one insurance company. I don't know if he went to Sun Life only and through an agent that only works for Sun Life, but other brokers will shop it around. So I think that he might be able to get coverage if he keeps looking.
The fact, though, that one company, and insurance companies are big, Sun Life, says no because you disclosed this mental health illness because you are taking medication for it, you sought treatment, we are turning you down. Some people are concerned that in this day and age when we want people to talk about things, to talk about mental health issues and seek treatment, that this just sends out a negative message. What do you think about that?
Well, I think it's a negative message in the sense that stigmatizing an individual seeking life insurance for a fairly modest condition that doesn't add a significant risk to Sun Life, particularly with the protections they have for the first couple of years should someone commit suicide, is concerning. However, insurance companies do have the right to review people's medical history when they're granting them insurance.
Now, CBC reached out to Sun Life and they sent us a statement in response. We'll just bring it up and I'll read it to you now. The company says, for privacy reasons, we do not provide details in individual cases. But I can tell you that we've been in contact with Robert. We are currently reviewing his case and are working towards a resolution. What does that tell you, sir?
Well, I think it tells me that Sun Life is not happy about the public relations outcry since Mr. Pugh went public with this, and they do want to perhaps find a solution. They'll probably offer him a policy with a significantly higher premium to mitigate the risk.
So your advice would still be for Mr. Pugh to shop around?
Yeah, I believe that there are independent brokers that represent a number of companies are advocating on behalf of people looking for insurance. But to not disclose is not the answer, because the problem is if he didn't disclose his mental health problems and then died, his family would have trouble collecting on the policy because the insurance company would probably deny the claim based on him misrepresenting his health history.
Does this show a lack of understanding of mental health issues on behalf of the company?
I don't think it shows a lack of understanding, although it may need them to tweak their requirements in terms of what risk they're prepared to accept and really do a better job of assessing what the real risk is. But for insurance companies, it's all about risk, collecting premiums and paying out as little as possible. So they want to make sure that they're taking on risks that aren't likely going to result in them having to pay out.
Now, you mentioned earlier that one of the concerns the company may have had was a possibility of suicide, but that they'd be covered in other ways. The company would be covered. How do you mean?
So the typical insurance policy will have a clause in it that says that if suicide occurs in the first 2 years after the policy was issued, the only liability they would have would be to refund the premium and not pay out on the face value of the policy. After 2 years, suicide would be covered, but there is that provision in most life insurance policies.
You mentioned that your company is one that often deals with claims that are denied, not just coverage in general, but claims. Are you seeing any sort of claims denied because of mental health issues?
The claims that we see that have been denied in the life insurance sphere have to do with, and this applies to other areas of insurance like disability insurance as well, have to do with filling out an application and not properly disclosing. So what insurance companies will do is look at what was disclosed at the time the policy was issued, and if someone fails to disclose something, then they will deny the claim based on misrepresentation.
So again, your advice out there is always disclose.
Absolutely, because the point of getting the insurance is in the unlikely event that you have a claim, hopefully an unlikely event, you want that insurance to be there to pay it for you. So to have a policy where you have to withhold information and then put in a claim and find out it's not going to get paid out, that's really not going to be the solution you're looking for. The pain later will be much worse than the pain of not getting the coverage right now.
David Scher, president and co-founder of Scher Lawyers, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me on.